Good morning, everyone. Thanks again for joining us here today. My name is Shane Perka, and I'm the superintendent in charge of our Criminal Investigations Division at the EPS, which includes our homicide section. In the early morning hours of March 12, 2022, the Edmonton Police Service responded to the report of shots being fired at the Urtail Lounge near 124th Street and 118th Avenue. When officers arrived, they located multiple victims outside the lounge. Investigators later determined that approximately 70 rounds were fired into a crowd, striking 7 innocent bystanders and killing 1 of them. In total, 5 males and 2 females were shot in the incident. Tragically, one of these victims, 28-year-old Imbert George, lost his life. All 7 of the victims were randomly struck. They were just people trying to enjoy a night out. Homicide investigators took charge of this investigation and days later charged 2 men with first-degree murder, 6 counts of discharging a firearm with intent to endanger the lives of others, and multiple firearms offenses. A Canada-wide warrant was also issued for another accused, that being 27-year-old Saeed Osman, who is wanted for first-degree murder, 6 counts of discharging a firearm with intent to endanger life, and multiple other firearms offenses. Osman remains at large, and while he is from Ontario, he has ties to Edmonton and may still be here, actively evading arrest. He is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Investigators also believe there are 2 additional suspects and are working to identify them. The purpose of today's availability is to keep the media and the public informed with respect to where we are with this investigation, and to further expand upon the billboards, flyers, and social media content you will notice across Edmonton in the coming months. The EPS has partnered with the BOLO Program to amplify police efforts in locating Osman. On October 18th, 2022, BOLO announced its top 25 list of Canada's most wanted, which included Saeed Osman. Osman was chosen for inclusion in the list as he is EPS's only homicide suspect who is currently wanted for first-degree murder. In a moment, I will pass the podium over to Max Langlois, who will further explain the BOLO program, but first I want to emphasize a few important points. Firstly, we are not looking for witnesses or people to testify. This case is ready to go before the courts. We're simply looking for the location of Mr. Osman so he can be apprehended and brought before the justice system. Secondly, there's a financial incentive to report Osman's location. The BOLO program is offering a $50,000 incentive for any information leading to his arrest. This reward will only be available until May 1st, 2023. Thirdly, to the relatives, friends, and associates of Osman, I want to remind you that assisting him in evading arrest could make you an accessory after the fact. And in Canada, being an accessory after the fact to murder carries a maximum penalty of life in prison. So please do the right thing and call EPS or Crime Stoppers with his whereabouts. And finally, this message is for Mr. Osman. There's nowhere to go, and we will apprehend you sooner or later. So please do the right thing, call a lawyer, and turn yourself in. For members of the public, keep in mind that you must take no action yourself to apprehend Mr. Osman. He may be armed and is considered extremely dangerous. If you see him on the street, call 911. If you have a tip to submit, please contact the Edmonton Police Service or Crime Stoppers immediately. I'll now turn it over to Max.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Let me just start by saying that the participation of the media is essential to what the BOLO program does, so thank you for being here. Every day, our police services serve our communities and keep us safe by preventing, stopping, and investigating major crimes. Most often, these crimes are resolved, charges are laid, and suspects are arrested. Yet, despite intrepid investigative work, some suspects accused of the gravest crimes temporarily manage to evade arrest. This is where the BOLO program can come in with its innovative toolbox to encourage citizens to be on the lookout. I'm purposely saying can come in because we always carefully coordinate everything we do with police services and Crime Stoppers partners. On October 18, 2022, the BOLO program unveiled an update to its top 25 of Canada's most wanted. Ranked number 5 was a man called Saeed Osman, wanted for murder by the Edmonton Police Service. Today, we're here to activate this case with an amplification campaign and a major reward. The BOLO program has covered dozens of cases throughout the country since 2018. All these cases involved major crimes and dangerous fugitives. Yet, I don't think I've seen a case with such outrageous circumstances. Multiple individuals allegedly opening fire into a crowd of people, firing some 70 rounds, injuring 6 people and killing 1. This is nothing short of a mass shooting. This doesn't belong here. And that's why we're here today. That is why the people of Edmonton will see BOLO billboards and online advertisement featuring Mr. Osman over the next few weeks. To encourage everyone to be on the lookout, the BOLO program is proud to announce, in cooperation with the Crime Stoppers Association of Edmonton and Northern Alberta, a reward of up to $50,000 for any information leading to the arrest of Mr. Osman. I want to be clear. The only condition for this reward to be paid is that your tip leads to the arrest of Mr. Osman. Period. There are no other conditions. If your tip is successful, our top priority will be to get you the reward you deserve, just like we've done many times in the past. And don't forget, not only you can submit your tip anonymously to Crime Stoppers, Crime Stoppers also has a well-established system to pay out rewards in an anonymous way. Note that this reward is only available until May 1st, 2023. So if you have something to say it now. I want to take a moment to thank our partners of the Edmonton Police Service and Crime Stoppers. The BOLO program is a program of exceptions. This is only the 3rd time in 3 years we work in Edmonton. And you can count on us to be here when you need the BOLO program. To conclude, it is my understanding that Mr. Osman has strong ties to Edmonton and may still be evading arrest in the region. He needs to eat, he needs somewhere to sleep, somewhere to shower. He's probably even working. He's definitely not hiding in a closet 24/7 and is very likely to be receiving some sort of assistance. If you know where Mr. Osman is, if you know someone who's helping him evade arrest, or if you simply believe you've seen him, please don't hesitate. Do the right thing for your community and contact the Edmonton Police Service or Crime Stoppers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Max. We'll go to questions, and then whoever is the appropriate person to answer, we'll just sort of jump in. Take over.
If I can start, you said the 7 victims, 6 injured, 1 dead, all innocent bystanders. This was not a targeted shooting?
The people that were affected and injured and the person that was killed, we believe were innocent bystanders. We don't believe that they were targeted in this shooting. They just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Is there any indication to the shooting what the motive was?
Nothing at this time. We're exploring some different theories, but given that it's before the courts now, I'd prefer not to comment further on what may or may not have been a motive.
But there are potentially 2 more suspects.
There's 2 more people that we're looking to identify that we feel were involved in the incident, yes.
This 70 rounds into a crowd outside a nightclub, in your career, have you ever seen anything like
Never. This is, like was touched on earlier, it's although it was tragic in the sense the community lost a life. Someone lost their life in this. 6 other people were injured. This was a mass shooting, and this could have easily been 10 or 15 people killed in this incident. It was that violent, brazen, and random into such a large crowd.
And this was connected to another criminal activity that same night, if I remember. There was another shooting, or am I remembering that wrong?
I don't recall anything connected directly to this one, no.
So, I mean, you had some pointed messages to Oswin, his accomplices, right now. Do you think it will work? What's your confidence in this reward being enough?
Well, we've spent the better part of the year trying to find him ourselves, and like any investigation, you use all the tools at your disposal, and this one rose to the level where we thought it was appropriate to bring forward to BOLO, and it's just another tool to, like we said, amplify the message and our desire to apprehend him as soon as possible.
For the BOLO project, you said there were 2 other, this is the 3rd time being used in Edmonton. Did the 2 other times work?
So the first case was a man called Emin Yusuf, who was wanted also for first-degree murder. We launched that case in January 2020 here. He was eventually apprehended, my understanding, in British Columbia. The second case we launched here was for a human trafficking outstanding suspect called Keishan McMillan. My understanding is that it remains outstanding.
And in terms of this type of case being used for the BOLO project, you said it's horrific. Is this common for seeing in Canada, a BOLO like this for a mass shooting?
The circumstances are outrageous. You know, this is a mass shooting. I don't think we've covered a mass shooting case like this before. Definitely we've seen cases with multiple shooters and multiple victims, multiple killed, but you know, this is something that we'll call unprecedented. This is something the BOLO program doesn't want to have to do. It's just like the safety of our community is at stake today because someone who allegedly fired into a crowd of people is still wanted. So for us, you know, it's important to be part of that toolbox our police services have to take further steps to apprehend this dangerous fugitive.
And just for the mechanisms, people will start seeing his face around the city. Is that fair?
That's correct. So we have 7 billboards, digital billboards, that are going to go up gradually as of today. They're in different locations of Edmonton. There's also going to be a massive digital campaign unfolding on Facebook, Instagram, and another platforms. So people will see it. So it's a multiplicity of platforms that lead to success in our amplification. So you're here, people will see this in the news, they will see this as they drive by, they will see this when they go down their Facebook feed, when they check their Instagram account. And we just try to, without flooding the market, if I may phrase it that way, we just try to make sure that there's a sustained presence in the region about this man still being wanted.
What's the, now that he has a price on his head, what's the turnaround? Like how quickly, now that it's out there and there's money attached to for a tip, what do you normally see for success rate for a time window? Like, is it usually pretty quick, or?
We've seen from 12 hours to 3 years. So there's the whole range. This is not perfect science. You know, it's a cat and mouse game, and I think the superintendent can confirm these are very tedious cases, and they're hard cases. So I can only assure you that as of today, some tips will be coming in. And sometimes the tip may be, well, he's right there, and this happened in the past. Other times the tip will be, well, I believe he lived there, or I believe this person. So there's a lot of investigative work to be done usually on these cases. I will say the norm is when there's a successful ending, that means an arrest, I will say it's usually a matter of months as opposed to a matter of days or weeks.
And what happens after May 6th, I believe?
May 1st.
May 1st.
So the reward, this is a good question. All questions are good, but I welcome this question in particular. So the reward will expire, meaning that all tips having come in before May 1st will be eligible for the reward. If you call in on May 2nd, then, too bad. The reward, I must say, may be renewed That's based on conversations with EPS and Crime Stoppers. But a lot of our rewards have expired, and I can tell you also, because we have a lot of requests from different police services, more of our rewards will expire than ever before. So the message is simple. If you have something to say it now.
Because you have it looks like a mugshot, does he have a record at all?
I won't speak to his criminal history, but I will say that he is known to police prior to this incident.
Like well known? How well known is he? Like, is it like a frequent flyer? Or?
He's known to police. Like, again, I don't have the specifics as to the length of any criminal record if he does have one at all, but he was. He's been known to police, or he's had police interactions in the past.
And how serious were they? Like parking tickets, or?
I can't speak to that level of detail. No, sorry.
The individual has links to Toronto and Edmonton. Are there any other areas in Canada that he has linked to that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of. That said, we have a lot of young people that come and go in and out of town, some for good reason and some for ill intent. So we're pretty transient, as a society these days. So I'm not aware of any other major urban centers in the country that he's got strong ties to, but he does have strong ties in Edmonton, and he is from Ontario.
Will this BOLO be extended to Toronto, where he also has ties?
We need to start somewhere, just like an investigation starts somewhere. So today we're starting with this case amplification here in Edmonton, because that's where the strongest ties, we believe, are. But we will, if need be, BOLO program only works with public information. So that's very important to us, because we don't want to interfere with any investigative work. But if the Edmonton Police Service reaches out and says, well, based on new information, we would like the campaign to be extended to certain cities, we will certainly listen carefully, and we're going to do everything we can to do that. That's for sure.
With so many people being tied, potential suspects in this, is this something that is believed to be gang involved?
Not sure if there's any gang or criminal network connections with respect to this particular event, no.
This might be the first time some of the public is hearing that these were all innocent bystanders shot. That is alarming, to put it mildly. What would you say to the public about hearing that this shooting in March had 7 innocent bystanders struck?
Well, I think it's not uncommon, in the news, whether it's south of the border or other places of the world, that we hear of incidents like this. When it happens right in our own community, it's particularly alarming. So we're not immune to it, and we hear of mass shootings, especially down in the United States, all of the time. I think we get a little bit desensitized to that. But I think this just reinforces that it can happen. Thankfully, it's very rare that it happens here, but it can happen anywhere.
Anything we didn't ask you that you wish we had?
You guys did well covering it.
What is the 5 wanted for? And then there's a 5. Is it?
Yes. In Canada.
Oh, that's the.
So the BOLO program now operates a top 25. So Saeed Osman is ranked number 5 in this top 25 of Canada's most wanted.
And this is the first time I think I recall seeing his picture. Is this the first time the public's really seen this person of interest?
No. Initially, when we first secured charges and applied for and were granted warrants for his arrest, we engaged the media to get that information out. That would have been earlier, back in March, April of this year. So we have campaigned or tried to use the media in an attempt to apprehend him. He's also been featured in Edmonton's Most Wanted on multiple occasions. So we have used some of the available mediums to try and get or appeal to the public for information to help apprehend him.
Why is he such a key figure for these shootings? Like, what makes him such a such a target for this one? Was he believed to be the shooter, or like, what is his? Because there's several. You said there's 2 more that are still looking.
So there's 5 persons that we're interested in. 2 have been charged with first-degree murder and discharge a firearm with intent. They were charged back in March, I believe it was. 1 more is wanted. Mr. Osmond is wanted for those same offenses: first-degree murder, discharge firearm with intent, times 6. That being the 6 people that were injured but not killed. The first-degree murder, obviously, for the Mr. George, who unfortunately was murdered that night.
Any other questions?
I think that should.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Oh, sorry. Just can I get your name and spelling just at the microphone?
Yes. My name is Max Langlois. I'm the director of the BOLO Program. MAX Langlois, L-A-N-G, sorry, L-O-I-S, as in Sierra. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Great.